Yeah, I know the lefties are going to get mad and call me, hypocritical or biased for once again doing a story like this, but let me explain. All right, here's the headline. Ocasio-Cortez linked dark money group to spend $500,000 attacking Biden and Buttigieg. Now, you may be asking yourself, Tim, why don't you do a video about the Republican dark money? Why don't you do a video about Donald Trump attacking progressives and how he smears the left? Okay, let me tell you something. Donald Trump unabashedly uses PACs and dark money groups and smears the far left. He's proud of it. He jokes about it. He goes to his rallies and he mocks body slamming reporters. And yes, I've criticized him for that, but what do you want me to do? You might make a video every time Trump's like, I've done a thing, and his supporters like, that's an okay thing. Here's the not okay thing. First of all, look, man, dark money groups exist. They're not always super nefarious. What we're talking about here is a political action group, committee or something. They spend money on ads. They're targeting Biden from the left, the Democrats' civil war. Yeah, you get it. But here's the thing. AOC said, dark money is used to manipulate electorates. It is the enemy to democracy, period. When politicians and corporations weaved their dark web of campaign finance, they created a ticking time bomb for foreign adversaries. To make our democracy safer, we need to get big money out. Here, AOC. We need campaign finance reform all the way. So weird then that there would be a group linked to Ocasio-Cortez, Justice Democrats, that does exactly what they're complaining about. Oh, lo and behold, the politicians who complain about things, who then get in office, don't do anything about it, use the same tactics. Why am I not surprised? You know what? Maybe it's because the system is so corrupt. You can't get into office without playing these games. I don't know. But they're targeting Biden and Buttigieg. It's not going to get Ocasio-Cortez reelected. What's their goal? To get Bernie Sanders or Warren elected? Why? I don't understand the Warren thing. Let's read the story from Fox News to get a better picture of what's actually going on. They say, a dark money organization tied to Rep. Ocasio-Cortez said Tuesday that it will spend half a $500,000 on ads targeting 2020 presidential candidates, Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden. Ocasio-Cortez has been an outspoken critic of dark money, which refers to the practice of using cash to influence an election by funneling it through nonprofit groups that are not obligated to disclose their donor lists. The group in question, Organized for Justice, a 501c4 nonprofit organization, falls under that same purview. They've set aside $500,000 for the Democratic primary and will use the funds to purchase Facebook ads to promote stories that question Buttigieg and Biden's progressive political leanings, according to Huffington Post. Organized for Justice is linked to Ocasio-Cortez through its, quote, sister organization called Justice Democrats. She served on the board during her 2018 congressional primary campaign, the Daily Caller reported. Her campaign chair, Saikat Chakrabarty, also served on the 3-member board and was named in a Federal Elections Commission complaint last year. The two have both been delisted from the board since the story became public. In a tweet from February of last year, Ocasio-Cortez called dark money the enemy to democracy, and we read that. This was in response to an individual by the name of Baratunde who said, look how they hid the money. All these LLCs. It's like they read the playbook on how to be a New York real estate developer and remained in with no accountability for your actions. Wow. So funny that Baratunde would tweet about LLCs circling money around and AOC would criticize it because AOC worked with, I believe it was Saikat Chakrabarty, who had brand new Congress, LLC, and brand new campaign or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but money was going from a nonprofit to the LLC to her boyfriend. And many people thought they were giving her boyfriend cash for no reason, because as soon as he got paid, apparently doing nothing, he then moved from, I think, New Mexico to New York City. The point is, this is literally what AOC was being criticized for last year. Getting elected using a nonprofit and an LLC that cycle money between each other so you mix things up and make it hard to track. And then sure enough, she comes out criticizing it. Listen, I understand. Maybe that's the only way you win these days. Sure. I'm still going to criticize you for being a hypocrite. Now, I certainly see Republicans doing this, but how many Republicans are campaigning on it as though they're morally superior to everybody else? Certainly some, and they're worthy of being called out. And you know what? I'll give you there were a couple Republicans. One guy just got indicted on some campaign finance violation. He was using campaign money for personal expenditures or something like that. I get it. I will also add, listen, my view is limited to the level of public attention. AOC has over 6 million followers. Of course, people are paying attention to her when she says things about dark money. Of course, people are going to scrutinize the organization she's involved with and how they're operating behind the scenes. They all claim to be the saviors, but they're all just as dirty as everyone else. So get used to it. Is AOC going to implement term limits? No. Is anyone? No. They want to get reelected. They don't want to go away. Congressional term limits, please. I know George Carlin said it wouldn't matter because you've got a selfish, ignorant population. Maybe he's right. She denied any wrongdoing in March of last year when she was approached about the FEC complaints by Fox News. There is no violation. AOC exclusively told Fox News at the time, after landing at Ronald Reagan National Airport. When she was asked if the complaint showed any connection to dark money during her 2018 campaign, she replied, no. Yeah. Let's play a game with Ocasio Cortez, with Ilhan Omar, with Rashida Tlaib. These people, and who am I missing? I'm forgetting one. Ayanna Pressley. The squad. You know, Ocasio Cortez has been accused, and there's been circumstantial evidence of dark money, of campaign finance violations. The fact that some people, apparently she's got, well, I'm not going to get into her apartment stuff, but her boyfriend basically applies for a job through an LLC. The money gets spent from the nonprofit to the LLC. Let me explain to you guys how dark money can be secretly, you can secretly pay for things. Okay, check it out. Let's say I own two different companies. I personally receive funds through these companies. So let's say, let's not use me as an example because people will take this out of context. You have a nonprofit and you have an LLC. The person behind both organizations is a millionaire. Let's say his name is Saikat Chakrabarty. I'm hypothetically, okay? Here's what happens. Saikat wants to give money to AOC's boyfriend so he can move to New York to live with her. But there are restrictions on who he can give money to. He can't really just give AOC the money. She's running for office. There's limits on what he can do. You have the nonprofit that is publicly you have to publicly disclose where your money is going and how you're spending it because it was propping up Ocasio-Cortez. But the LLC is different. They provide consulting services. So Saikat can have one organization pay for something. Say AOC receives a donation. It goes to the nonprofit. He can then personally have the LLC hire her boyfriend and say, see, no conflict of interest. He can then have the nonprofit pay him a consulting fee. Thus, he gets the donation. So let me wrap this up again. I'm not saying it's literally what happened. I'm saying this is what the idea generally is. If a donation comes into a federal candidate, there are restrictions on how they can spend their money. How do you get that money to, say, your boyfriend? You have your friend's company hire him, and then your company pays him a consulting fee. So he doesn't actually spend any money. The $2,000 donation goes to your campaign. You spend $2,000 in consulting, and then he hires your boyfriend for $2,000. Congratulations, you've converted a $2,000 public donation into giving your boyfriend money to move across the country to come live with you. I am not saying that's literally what happened. It's basically what people are accusing AOC of having done. We now see that whatever it is behind AOC and Saikat and all these people, they're doing similar things that everyone else is doing. I'm sorry, man. Listen, I understand the system is fairly corrupt. I do not like how these systems work, and I understand that if you're not playing the game, they are, and you're at a massive disadvantage. Let me tell you something. Do you know what side of that fight I'm on? I recognize that the cheaters, the manipulators, and the liars in media are gaining power by cheating. I refuse to do so. They accuse me of lying when every single story I used is certified by a third-party fact-checking organization called NewsGuard. I find it very funny. You know why? I have insane scrutiny on every segment I do. The press, they don't. They can ignore whatever they want. They can make up whatever they want. They can say an anonymous source told us X. And here I am making sure that only certified sources are used. They still try to accuse me of being a conspiracy theorist or otherwise. I get it. I'm playing at a disadvantage. But that doesn't excuse you. Just because they cheat doesn't give you the right to do so either. If AOC was serious about dark money, she would call out any organization that had anything to do with her at any point and say, this is not acceptable. You can't play this game. Let me tell you something. These far lefties often say the ends justify the means by any means necessary. But you will never meet the ends. The ends do not justify the means because you never meet the ends. There will never be a point where you sit back happy like you've won. You will always be in the struggle. And that's why communism, for instance, is so scary. They say, we'll use this tactic now. But once we're in power, we can create our utopia. The only problem is there will always be dissent. So once these communists get in power, they say, why are the people fighting us? What do? Gulags, executions. And then they say, why are the people still fighting us? Because you're killing people. Therein lies the big problem. And we can see it perfectly with what AOC is doing. Not her personally, but she can come out and claim she wants to fight for whatever she wants, and then sure enough, what do you get? Organizations that worked with her, that propped her up, are, here they go, playing the same game. What does that mean? The more power she gets, the more likely she is to keep playing the same game. She can complain about all day and night, but I do not trust her. I got one more segment coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.